Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. For those of you who may be new, my name is Janelle Alana. I am here today to, I believe, deliver a message from the Lord. Look, he spoke to me and I decided to share it with y'all because the Lord is doing this on purpose. He's trying to tell me how to heal my brokenness, how to heal what I think has happened to me and show me that it's happening for me. So I always have my notes, sometimes I don't, but today I just wanted to be a little bit more organized and like get this across as best as I could. But if you're here because you want to learn how to get over what they did to you, get over what happened to you, keep watching. This is definitely for the people who have struggled with giving grace, those of us who have struggled with the act of forgiveness, those of us who struggle with people who don't change, and those of us who struggle with loving one another. By no means am I exempt from this. I honestly, truthfully have not entirely broken this pain that I've endured over the years of brokenness in my heart. I really feel like it has been this month, this week alone, of the wisdom that I've received from Will Jackson on Therapy Thursdays and my church, my home church, Faithful Central Bible Church, from Pastor JP, where I feel like God has intertwined their messages in this week alone to where he literally said something that he's trying to ring into my ear. So we're learning together. We're seeking wisdom together because that's what we need to be doing when we are in this moment of pain, where we are experiencing loneliness. I know in those periods we can isolate, and that's definitely what I've done. However, isolation may not be the best, but isolation can provide reflection on your life. But however, make sure that it's healthy, but don't like be depressed and isolated if you can help that. Try not to be like that. If some of you are on the other side of learning how to get over what people did to you, what happened to you, all those things, make sure you drop your tips and your testimony and everything that you've experienced, but you were able to overcome those things in a healthy way only. Because I just, real quick before we get into it, some people just say, you need to get over it. It happened, move on. Like, in a sense, yes, but that's not healthy, because what is not dealt with is still there. So I think people misconstrue like a healthy way versus toxic ways to get over things. Therefore, if you're one of those people that say, it happened to you, get over it, move on, I bet you guys struggle with triggers. And I bet that there's moments where you come out of character because there's something that you didn't deal with that is now popping up again. It's a familiar situation to something that happened to you a long time ago. And now you don't know how to properly handle that. You don't know how to properly excuse yourself from that. So I just wanted to make that point. Really think to yourself before you comment if your tip is healthy. Pray about it, identify that, and then comment if you think it's healthy. So the first tip I want to offer to you guys is the messages that were intertwined. So the first one would be to heal your perspective. What I got from this is that there are things that happen to us, and sometimes we don't understand why it is for us. And so the difference between 2 and 4 is, to you think it's, oh my gosh, why is this going on in my life? I didn't even do anything. I was just, sticking up for myself and all the things, right? And then for you was more so, maybe God is trying to tell me something. Maybe God is trying to remove a situation that is no longer going to serve me and his purpose. Maybe I'm entering a new season in my life that can get me to the next step that God wanted me to be in. And I think that I didn't understand this literally till this week. I didn't understand it, and now I'm working on applying it. Things happening to you is definitely more negative, and you can sit in that funk. You can sit in that replaying of the situation of, what could have I done better? Like, what could I do different? Like how you think about how, you think about why, you think about all the things. But now the situation has already happened, and this is why people be like, move on. But not necessarily just that. You know how they say there's a pros and a cons, or a bright dark side. It's something to every situation. You choose which side you want to stick on. Do you want to be on the bright side, or do you want to be on the dark side? You know, you just got to choose that. Side note, sorry. The message that I got from church is basically our perspective matters. And that was one of the notes in today's sermon. And God forgive me, I was falling asleep just a little bit. I was so tired, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. But I did realize, when I heard that, I was like, oh, I heard that this week already. But in a different way, in a different light. And our perspective matters provided more insight, because the way that you see things can affect how you do things. The way that you see the situation, the circumstance, can affect your life choices, your life decisions, who you allow in your life, who you don't allow, like the things that you choose to do, the things that you don't do. Like, your perspective matters. So if you're looking at a perspective in a negative light, maybe one boyfriend did you wrong, maybe one girlfriend did you wrong, and now you don't want to get in a relationship. So that perspective of, oh, this person did me wrong, I'm just going to be single and therefore I can do whatever I want. So if that's a perspective that you have, how do you ever, if you ever, imagine to have a healthy marriage in the long run? How do you ever expect to get that if you're stuck in the bad, negative perspective? You're not going to get there. Versus, ooh, this person did me wrong. Did you see any patterns and anything that will help you understand why this person moves the way that they do? And on top of that, once you've probably seen that, do you treat this person as if they are everybody else? Is everybody else in the world like this person because of one experience, or maybe 3 experiences? Because sometimes we run to situations that are familiar to us because we're so used to being treated a certain way. It's like when people get with unfaithful people, people are always like, why do you keep attracting the same people? And it's like a pattern, it's a trauma response. That's what you're used to. And how do you break that? So you literally have to ask God to renew your mind, renew your heart, renew your spirit, and you have to seek wisdom. You really truly do. The more you talk about it, the more you hear different opinions, but let them be valuable and from people who genuinely have wisdom. You can't listen to everybody. You can start to view your life in a different light. You can start to view those situations in a different light. So it's really important that you heal your perspective in a way that you can see it in a better light, so you don't allow a negative perspective to control your decisions, your outcome, and even your purpose in life. Like, you will not reach purpose if you think so negatively about the situations that happen to you. I hope that makes sense. I'm still learning as well, but I hope that makes sense for the most part. So my tip number 2 is growing deeper with God, within your faith, within your relationship with God. Y'all, this is crazy because my faith has been growing tremendously for the past 2 years. There's been so many changes in 2 years. Like, I don't even know where to start. But to be honest, like, growing deeper in your faith, they always say this, which is so true. As your relationship deepens with the Lord, things that you used to do of the world are not going to be as attractive anymore. Matter of fact, they won't be attractive anymore. And sometimes, like, I'm literally in a moment of, like, the clubbing scene. Y'all, and when I tell you I've only clubbed, like, less than 10 times in my 20s. I'm 24. Less than 10 times. I probably went to the bar maybe 8 times. The bar that turned into a club, little sports bar that turned into a club, and I probably went to that like 8 times. I'm 24. I turned 24 years ago, so 8 times in 4 years. Your girl don't go outside. She's an introvert. Definitely don't like social interaction that much. I realized lately that is the club a space where I can, like, glorify God? And people try to justify it and say, like, oh, you can go on spaces where you can probably bring people to God, but be realistic. Can you actually have a conversation with people in the club while there's a whole bunch of music playing real loud and a whole bunch of people just dancing? Are you able to glorify God in that setting? And that was a question that I had for myself, that I was trying to make it make sense. I was trying to justify it so that I could go. And it's not that I'm not allowed to go. It's just like, it doesn't serve a purpose in my life. It doesn't. Like, it doesn't. It really doesn't. So the point of all that's just like a small testimony of mine right now. But the point of all that is that it's going to have you analyze your life, your choices, your decisions. Are there people in your life that maybe you guys just aren't in the same season anymore? Are there people that you love? This hits close to home. That you love, that you guys believe in the same thing, but you guys aren't acting to please God. Is that both of you guys? Is it one of you guys? And you know, I really got stuck in a situation where I was like, I really don't know what to do with that. And I'm really in a place now where I can officially say that no, I'm not perfect, but at the same time I know that now officially I'm really trying to please God. Like, one thing I've really been trying to focus on is like controlling my profanity. People be like, oh, don't say not to cuss in the Bible, but God does say, let no filthy language pop off of your tongue. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. So anything that doesn't honor, doesn't reflect him, I'm trying my best. So anytime I've been catching myself cuss lately, I'd be like, oh, forgive me, Lord. Like, you know, and then I replace the word. It don't happen overnight. It doesn't. But it is starting to decrease, and I'm just grateful for that. So in church today, the pastor also said something. He was like, if you can't believe with me, you can't go with me. And I was like, ooh, ate that up. There's some people who believe and, you know, they think they do all the things within, you know, pleasing the Lord. And it's just some things where it's like, I really have to think what is right for me. By being with you or having a relationship with you or being close to you, is it going to influence or impact my life? Is it going to change the way that I feel about things? Or am I going to support something that I'm not really supportive of? And people keep saying, like, in society, a real friend is going to correct you. A real friend is going to hold you accountable. A real friend this, real friend that, real friend this, right? But my whole thing was, I grew up with a father who corrected me all the time. Corrected me all the time. Almost like corrected me within everything. And as a child, you're not willing to take correction from your child. You're not willing to take an opinion from your child because you believe that your child doesn't even know what they're talking about. So I grew up in the people-pleasing area, and I stuck there. And it's people-pleasing to a certain extent, because what I do is I'm one of those people that I'll people-please for a minute, and once I get to the point where I feel like I'm ignoring the things that I love, which now in my life is God, if I try to dumb down my values and my belief that the Lord has for us, then I know that something's got to give. So what I do is I end up having a conversation with whoever it is, and that's very scary for me, because all this time they thought everything was okay. Meanwhile, I'm like going crazy in this relationship. It's been because I've been afraid of people's reactions, because growing up from my dad, I did not get the best reactions when I tried to do the corrections or I tried to give an opinion. It wasn't valued. So I've experienced that recently, and that starts to put me in a space where I don't start serving the God that I love anymore. And so if that starts to happen, I have to either let go of it, or what I did recently is I brought it to attention. And luckily, thank the Lord, luckily I have a person in my life who is receptive of that. It was scary, because every time I've tried to tell somebody how I felt or how I've seen like certain actions that they've been doing doesn't seem okay, it ended up in division of a relationship. So now I don't talk to a lot of these people. But they can correct me though. They can correct me all the time, and I don't get upset, or I don't I don't try to fight them. Like, I will have a conversation, and my feelings may be hurt, but I don't get upset. Like, I'm very understanding. So it's just like, yeah, that's like under tip number 2. I want to read this. Once your life has changed to truly please God, you can truly be prepared to start receiving his purpose for you, his blessings, his guidance on the next step in your life. Imagine living right for God, doing almost everything right. You're not perfect, but you're doing your best to do everything right. The blessings are going to start rolling in. Just you wait. You don't give up. He sees your heart. So if you're doing it with the intentions of trying to deceive God, you can't do that, because God already know what you're doing. Don't even try and play him. But if you're truly trying to follow him because you trust him, you believe in him, and you love him over everything in your life, he's going to start blessing you. Just you wait. You can't put a timeline on it. This is something you got to do forever, baby. Forever. Yeah. Tip number 4 would be to break the patterns. You got to study the cycles in your family. Read the Bible, y'all. I mean, I haven't read it. I'm going to. I got to get deeper in my word too. But my boyfriend told me there's a place in, I think it's Deuteronomy, where it expresses how the sins of the parents go into the children. And it goes on to 3-4 more generations to come. And some of us don't even know why we struggle with certain traits. And it's because of things that our family has been through, our ancestors have done. Now we have to really sit down and analyze what triggers us. Why are we starting to yell? Why are we arguing? Like, why are we like disagreeing? Why, like, what is going on? So you start to understand, like, okay, this is a point where I'm starting to get flustered. So y'all, I didn't master this or understand, because I didn't master. I didn't understand this until I believe this was June of 2023. My parents and I got in a huge argument. My grandmother was there and everything. Girl, when I tell you, it was crazy. Like, I had cussed. I cussed. I don't even know if I cussed at them or just cussed because I was pissed off. I think I said, this is crazy. Like, what? And I remember saying something along the lines of, my dad was like, you're crazy. And I was like, if I'm crazy, I'm a reflection of you. You look in the mirror. I was going off. I'm done. I was so tired, right? But then when I got out of the car, oh, hold on, wait, let me tell you y'all this. I started twitching. My grandmother was so afraid for me. Like, she was hugging me and everything and all the things, whatever. But like, they got me so mad. I was screaming to the top of my lungs. Everybody was screaming, but I was screaming to the top of my lungs, and I was like, get away from me. Get away from me. Like, I don't know. That was a moment that I was like, never again, ever in my life will I ever do that with anybody ever again. I won't, not even with anybody. I won't ever let anybody get me to that point. Ever. That was so, it destroyed my heart to see that. I didn't even know I could do that. Like, the twitching, I didn't even try to do it. Like, I was so angry. That's what was happening to me. I was coming out of myself. Like, it was like an out of body experience. So I had to think, how did I get there? Because I kept engaging with somebody who was not open to different ideas, who kept trying to manipulate and force me into believing that his way is the only way. And I was like, dang. So is there any way that I could just have a civil conversation with this person? But then I thought about all the conversations my dad and I had. And my dad starts to yell when he gets passionate. And most people do. But it's almost kind of, it seems aggressive. It's like aggressive enough. That's why I always start crying, because I'm just like, why are you yelling at me? Like, now I can't hear or understand anything that you're trying to say. So when he gets to that yelling point, if I'm fed up with all the arguments in the past that we had, I'm starting to clap back. Okay, that's it, that's all. Right? There was a moment as well where I thought to myself, this just seems like I cannot talk to them at all. Because I've tried the talking. I did letters, formal written letters, emails. I did a video. Like, I thought maybe if they couldn't interrupt me and hear my whole thought process, that they could understand where I'm coming from. I've done everything. My dad watches podcasts. for my punishments, he wanted me to watch the podcast and take notes on it. I've done that. Like, I'm still me. I still feel the way I feel. Like, nothing that he's done has changed who I was. He tried for a minute. Like, I was changed, manipulated, brainwashed for a minute, but God lives within me, and he'll always stay in me. He'll always come back, and God could just never leave. And I think that was my dad. He doesn't know this, but I think because my dad is not a believer, he's trying to push the fruits of the spirit out of me, and I don't think he understood what was going on. Me and my dad, because I'm a believer in heavy now at that, it just will never work unless he changes, period. And so that means that I have to put him on the shelf until he's ready to get to a space of understanding, get to a space of truly learning how to love one another, get to a space of acceptance, get to a space of being apologetic, because I can't recall that he's really done that, and get to a space of genuineness. Yeah, that's an example of like me being taken out of my character and just realizing that these are no longer people that I can even be in a space with. I just want to add, in that same argument, I was trying to talk to my mom, because I feel like my mom cannot think without my dad. She lets my dad do all the talking, but I tried to talk to her alone with my grandmother downstairs, and my dad hears me talking. He was upstairs, but he comes downstairs and he sits on the stairs. I forgot what happened prior to that, but my dad and I were already arguing before that, and I told him, I was like, I cannot be around you right now, so I'm gonna leave. And so that's what I did. I went downstairs to go talk to my mother, and he came downstairs. So that's a toxic, I don't care if he agree or not, because he'd be watching my videos. I don't care if he agrees or not, but that is a toxic way to engage with a person. When somebody said that I cannot be around you right now, I can't continue to have this conversation, I'm not going to be brainwashed, I'm not going to allow that. I asked him, I was like, why are you here? And he took that very disrespectfully. He was like, because it's my house. And I was like, I was just asking because we said that we can't be around each other. Like, I said that, and I believe, because it was so long ago, I believe that we agreed on that, but I'm not sure. Anyway, but I said, I apologize if you took it disrespectfully. I was still trying to be nice, even though he was being toxic. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, and then the conversation went left when I started doing all the twitching and stuff. But anyway, just know it won't be happening again. In Jesus' name, I declare it. That is not happening again. The last thing I would say under this tip would be, try and talk to family who is willing to go deeper with you about why things are the way that they are. For me, I feel like it helps for a moment, but I'm still in the space where I'm like, dang, just because all of that happened to you, like, I know it's a lot, and it's a lot of like repairing that you have to do, renewing that you have to do in your heart. You have to like want to be better. You have to change. You have to want that. And so I don't understand what it takes for people to continue to be bitter. I never wanted that for myself, and so that's why it's always a work in progress for me to get past the point of like healing my perspective in a healthy way. I just never understand what it takes for people to be so mean, to be bitter, to be jealous, to be selfish, to be all those things. It's just like, it's a heartless way to live, and I have a heart, and it's filled with the Lord, and I can't do that. So try and talk to people to get a sense of understanding. You know, pray that that helps you. It helped me for a moment, and it's good to know. It's just frustrating that you see these people still hurting. It can be frustrating at times. So yeah, that's tip number 4. Tip number 5, I don't have my Bible right now, but the prayer of the righteous. My auntie tells me this all the time. Is it the prayer availeth much? Or, look, I'm still learning. Forgive. But I'm going to put it on the screen. Pray. Pray, pray, pray. The power of prayer of a righteous person is so powerful. Like, there are things in my life that I'm like, oh my God, I didn't expect this to happen. Like, even though I was praying for it, there's a seed of doubt, even though I was praying for it. And I was like, I can't believe that God changed this for good. Like, I was just so grateful. So just really tap into that scripture and keep speaking it over your life. Keep talking to God, keep praying, and you will definitely see God work in those that need it and need him. Y'all, it keeps getting darker. It gets dark early. We hate that. My camera keep overheating, so that's why it's getting darker quicker. So the last final thing that I wanted to bring up was resources. Your resources are so important. First resource would definitely be the Bible, absolutely, for sure. For me, as a newer Christian, because I'm 2 years in, like, I actually touched the Bible probably 2 years ago. That's when I opened the Bible for real. I got through Genesis, I got through Exodus, and I got through Proverbs, and now I'm working through Psalms. So I'm working my way up over the 2 years. I started Job, didn't finish it. Don't know why, don't even ask. But I actually don't really enjoy reading. Reading is very tedious to me. But the Bible is what we need, and that's where our wisdom and our knowledge comes from, the Lord, right? So start there. If you love reading, I love that for you. The Bible will really help you change your perspective on life. The Bible is God, period. The next thing I would say is, if you're a podcast girly like me, I don't even do podcasts. I'm a YouTube girly. I love watching YouTube videos. I love listening to it. I have the time. When I do braids, because I'm a braider, and me and my client are talking much, I like to renew my mind with some sermons, some vlogs, whatever it is. And the sermons eat down the most when I'm working. I don't know why. I'm not a multitasker, but that's one thing I can do. I can listen to a good word from God and braid. Braiding is a gift, and like, I don't know, God is just speaking to me during my gift, and I love that. I do have a what has helped me grow spiritually playlist, because there are some key videos that I pray never leave YouTube that have brought me closer and closer to the Lord. I will try and make that public and put that in the description box below so that you guys can check all of those videos out. As of recently, what has helped me create this video were definitely 2 specific videos, actually 3. Redefine TV's channel on YouTube. It is the Church of Jerry Flowers that offers the Therapy Thursdays, and I love watching those because they're more intimate. I feel like it's a face-to-face literal therapy session, which I love, and it's just it's spirit-led, it's Bible-based. I love it. And specifically, Will Jackson's most recent Therapy Thursday videos have been key to helping me like realize, like, okay, gotta tap in to my perspective. I have to heal my heart, heal my perspective, and those need to be changed. And in order for me to see clearly what God has for me. And I just wrote something that I think is cute. This is a quote that I just created, and I actually got help from Will Jackson because he used a reference of having broken glasses. He was like, you can't see out of shattered glasses. So like, so my quote would be, if you are viewing life through a broken lens, the purpose will never be clear. Period. So at me if you like that right there. But yes, his last 2 videos, one being, is it safe or sabotage, and the next one being, I forgot what it's called, but something about like not healing the root, something like that. Forgot about that. But there's another one by, just look into my spiritual playlist of what has helped me grow spiritually, and you will find all the videos that you need there. Definitely tap into those. And lastly, it is so important. I know I said I'm an introvert, but today, which I want to mark today, my boyfriend doesn't watch my videos, but guys, I want to share the church that we go to. We met the pastor, and I just think it's interesting. I'm just going to leave it there because my boyfriend is very private. I want to respect that. But I want to remember this moment for myself, that today is the day that we like truly met the pastor, and it was just interesting. Like, it was an interesting thing, which I just want to say that so I can kind of remember this for myself. So y'all not gonna know what I'm talking about, but like, just God bless this moment, okay? Yes, so definitely seeking wisdom through people who you can see that their life is bearing the fruit of the Lord. Like, they are delivering, discipling, they are, you know, doing everything that you are inspired by. You know, nobody's perfect, so don't expect them to be perfect when they do fall short. But at the end of the day, you can see God in them. You can see a light in them. And that is all that matters to me. Getting wisdom from people who truly want to see you win, truly want to see you grow in your relationship with the Lord. And I couldn't be thankful enough for those people, and I'm trying to do better and get more involved with my church. Just a little bit. I'm a little scared about that, but there's nothing to fear but the Lord. It doesn't hurt to get to know new people, and I need people who can offer more wisdom in my life. My life is a little stagnant right now, and you know, I love my auntie. She be offering me wisdom and everything, but you know, it's nice to hear from different types of people, different walks of life, all the things. So yeah, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's very long, but I really feel like this was a message from the Lord, and I pray that I was able to like deliver in the best way that I could with everything that I know. I have no scriptures, but in those therapy Thursdays, there are definitely scriptures that they can offer us to do right by the Lord, to like remember his principles and everything and instill them in our heart. But with that being said, I pray you guys have a beautiful day, beautiful night wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
The sun is shining, it's a new